Originally in Spanish, 2019. They say, along with Iraq's alleged development of weapons of mass destruction, another justification for invasion was the purported link between Saddam Hussein's government and terrorist organizations, in particular Al-Qaeda. In that sense, the Bush administration cast the Iraq War as part of the broader war on terrorism. An investigation into whether or not there really were weapons of mass destruction was opened shortly thereafter. This is correctly reflected in the movie City of Storms with Matt Damon, based on real events, where the US Army themselves do not find any weapons of mass destruction and begin to question the real reason behind the war. And they wonder about its illegality. Are any wars legal? There is no evidence either for weapons of mass destruction or for the support of Saddam Hussein's government for the terrorists, and the overthrow of the Iraqi government only led to more terrorism in all its forms and scales. They were just excuses to invade the country. In fact, the previous entry into Afghanistan is also related to Iraq. It goes hand in hand, inseparable. On the Afghan side, the CIA was behind it as a major player, wanting to have full control over the raw Afghan opium, the basis for the manufacture of heroin as a drug. This in itself gave the CIA and its leaders huge profits of money, and they used military transports to bring drugs into the US without the crew knowing about it, because the boxes were only catalogued as sensitive or classified material, and the military guarded them without asking any questions. This came to light when a US attack submarine captain refused to carry drugs on board, starting a problem with CIA agents and ending in a shootout in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, circa late 2003. It is said that the real reasons to invade Iraq is to dominate its oil reserves, as well as its strategic position in the Persian Gulf. Strategic for what? To proceed to dominate the whole area, either to the west, like Syria, or to the east, like Iran, as will be seen today. To dominate the oil fields, which are not as many as they claim. And above all, the gas pipelines. Contrary to what is commonly thought, there is not just one reason for things to happen or as a cause of what happens, but multiple reasons. It is not that the ones listed above are wrong. It is simply that they are used to achieve an extra after achieving the main objective, and also to use them as distractors to hide that main objective. What they were really interested in was seizing Sumerian technology hidden in Iraq, non-human technology. To take control over the records, whether modern, paper ones, Iraqi research and documents about their own culture, and also writings, whether also on paper, papyrus, or cuneiform tablets. All in order to control the information that could be leaked to the general public. Information that contradicts what is socially accepted and what the clerics of the terrestrial science impose as true doctrine by law and by their decree, with no basis in reality. This is not the only act of invasion to erase the history of a country or to erase documents and history in general to continue perpetuating their agendas, because it is something that goes back to ancient times. The invasion and destruction of the Druids and all their writings and culture itself by the Roman troops sent by Caesar Nero and his most important general Vespasius being a perfect example of this. Also, the destruction of the Library of Alexandria on similar dates. But this is only to list some of the most important similar events. In more recent 20th century history, Carter's entry into Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922 is also an example of agents of the Cabal Illuminati entering to confiscate and control a site or tomb with the potential to contain artifacts and documents that are inconvenient to the Cabal in power. Howard Carter financed it and was under the orders of the Rockefellers and also the Rothschilds. The main reason for the 2003 invasion of Iraq was to seize archaeological writings and research with reliable transcripts and translations into cuneiform tablets and engravings on artifacts and archaeological sites throughout Iraq, seizing countless archaeological relics, destroying what they did not want in public. The Baghdad Museum was the main target of the invasion, where most of these documents and relics were being kept both on display and in the cellars. Cellars that contained several portals, some operational and others in poor condition, of mainly Elohi origin. There is talk of 3 portals, 2 in operation or operational, and 1 that did not work. But this number has not been possible to corroborate. We have witnesses who claim to have seen a convoy bringing out the portals in the form of large rings about 4 or 5 meters in diameter on military flatbed trucks that were taken out of the museum and taken to the airport, where they were loaded onto C-17 type military aircraft. One of our witnesses claims to have seen and escorted the convoy from the air in an OH-58D Kiowa type helicopter, equipped with electronics to detect hidden things, and which was being used to clear the area of potential EIDs in the vicinity of the convoy or where it would pass. So he could see that the rings were not made of stone, but of metal with very complex mechanisms. With another witness below, who could see how they took out the portals while they covered the area. What is EID? Improvised explosive device. Wow, so Zachariel is the witness of what happened at the Baghdad Museum. Yes, as is Dhor K'aalel. Dhor K'aalel was there in the museum inside. They were together? Yes, they were together.
What do the Elohi look like physically?
They look like Taygetans or Engans, big and bearded.
And are those portals in operation now?
Their rings are almost identical to the ones in the Stargate movie. We don't know. And one thing, you talk about a real purpose of why the Americans were there. Did they succeed? To remove all this that you are talking about? Yes, they succeeded, and then installed a puppet government. And where are these artifacts and documents now? It is not known, but probably in places like Area 51, Wright-Patterson's base, or at the Pentagon. But to illustrate this further, during the years of the invasion, 2003 to 2009, on the highways surrounding the bases in the USA, such as NAS El Toro, California, there were Sumerian archaeological artifacts that the soldiers would throw out of their car windows on their way home, thus perpetuating a crime against humanity. It is not collateral damage, as they say. It is the actual purpose, or one of the purposes.
Yes, they are crimes against all humanity.
Although these portals are not human, they are not human art or human heritage, no? By whom were these portals put there? But what is purely human? All cultures are made from the influence of others. It is part of human history, reason of how they are today and why. But in this case, can we really talk about crime against humanity if the portals are not human? Just philosophizing. It's your history. They are not human, no. They are Elohi or Elohim, same thing.
So Americans can go visit the Elohi now.
They only wish to retro-engineer, and in their case, have the portals themselves confiscated so that they never reach the public. And how did they find out about these portals there? By their own excavations, like in Alt-Ur, Starbase. They are also supposed to have found a portal there. And how do they know they are portals and not some decorative arches? Because they already know them and they have experts. I do not doubt, or there is no lack of foolish archaeologists who think they are decorative.
According to all of this, it is clear that it will invade all those countries that have this technology.
Of course, because Iran surely has hidden things. But unlike Iraq, Iran has nuclear bombs and ballistic missiles. And Syria? Syria, I am not sure what it has in this regard, but at least it's for area control. And don't the Elohi try to take back those portals? No, not that I know of.